Hello, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. Guys, today has been very productive as well as not super productive at all. So, we had a snowstorm last night, which, you know, Fargo snowstorms, here we are again. So, it wasn't safe to head into work right away in the morning, so my boss told us all we could work from home today, which ended up being good because the plow didn't go by until noon, which, is annoying, but what can you do? I live in an apartment, so it's not like I can really get myself out. You know, I just have my shovel, so what do you do? And so I have some trainings to do at the end of the year, always, and so I basically did a training day, did some emails, worked on some stuff for customers, a few things like that, and then I got 4 videos filmed today, which means I pretty much have all of my December videos filmed except for vlogs, and I even got 1 video for January done, which feels very awesome. I love having things filmed ahead, and I'm really excited for where everything is going to be going with the channel and with the videos and what it means for 2020. I'm so excited to start that reading year and just everything that's going with it. So, as where we are for reading, we're kind of where we were last week. We're in one of those holding patterns where I have so many books going that no progress really gets made on anything. So, I think I'm going to have to cut and run with a few because I need to start an Unkindness of Magicians. I mean, ideally I would start it today, but it's probably not going to happen. I have class in a couple of hours. But for sure, like, I want to finish The Soldier by Grace Burrows. I started this last week, and usually I finish a historical romance in like a day. I'm not super caught in the story right away, but I really love, especially like the male character, the hero. I met him in the last book, and I really liked him. So I'm not just going to like give up on it, but I'm not super hooked with what the story is with this one. And Grace Burrows just isn't quite as funny as some other historical romances I like. Like, I like my historical romances to be pretty heavily humorous, and if they have darker elements in it, that's obviously okay with me, but I like humor to be my main thing when I'm reading those. And this one is dealing with some heavy topics. It's dealing with PTSD, it's dealing with illegitimate children, it's dealing with, you know, just a bunch of different struggles that I'm not really in the mood for. Next, I am getting pretty seriously behind on Foundry Side. This might be one of the ones that I cut and run. I'm going to give it another 50 pages, and I'm either going to put it aside and come back to it later in the month, or I'm going to DNF. I don't know. I don't want to DNF, but I'm just not as into it. Last night, though, I made a good amount of progress on Drums of Autumn. I'm 200 pages into this. This is a 1,000-page book, so I'm a fifth of the way done, which is great. I'm rewatching season 3 of Outlander so that I can film my TV to book review. And so it was kind of fun because I'm like watching Outlander and reading Outlander, and I like it a lot. So that's kind of what we're looking at with everything. I'm also still listening to Lair of Dreams, but I'm taking my time with that. And yeah, that's kind of what we got going on so far. I say this every Monday, but a really busy week this week, but it is the last Monday of my class. So hopefully Mondays will not be so busy moving forward. But then I have a meeting for my mission trip tomorrow night, small group on Wednesday night. I'm meeting someone for coffee on Thursday night. Friday night is my work Christmas party, and then a Star Wars movie night. And then Saturday we are volunteering for the Salvation Army, and then it's someone's birthday party. So that's the entire week right there. So we'll see how everything goes, and I'll check back in with you later. Oh my gosh, we haven't had a car check-in in a long time. Wow, that's because when I get in my car these days, I like don't have time to sit here because I like have to get to training or I have to get to something. But we're in winter, so I need to let my car warm up now. It's a thing. Well, making some progress. So I thought I'd check in. I have about 50-60 pages left of The Soldier, which is good. again with Grace Burrows, like she stabs my heart, she punches it, she beats it with these beautiful characters who are layered and real and have past trauma and are brave and all these things. And then one, she makes them do some really dumb things past the point of when normally you should give up. So this is what happened in The Heir, but The Heir I just loved way too much to give it anything but 5 stars. Like, I will stand by that book even for those things. With this one, I'm just a little less connected with the characters, so I don't have as much of an investment, and I'm not as willing to put up with some of this. So our heroine has this secret, which is pretty obvious to us, and she is so stubborn that she can't marry the hero because no reasons, like not even the I just don't want to or blah blah, like there's no reason. And in a romance, like, you have to have a reason why not, okay? Like, you just do. Like, in life, you don't. You cannot want to marry someone just because. But in a book that is about people getting married, you need to have a better reason than this. So, and again, like, her books are pretty long for historical romance, too. So it's also, like, drug out longer than it should be. Like, this character, this woman, she just keeps saying that she can't, she needs to go away, she needs to leave, blah, 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 past the point of where it's like, well, then, one, just freaking leave if you're gonna leave, or number 2, explain to us what's going on. And in the first book, the reasoning why the woman wouldn't marry made a lot of sense. Like, there was a legit, it was just the fact that she drug it out so long that I didn't like. Whereas in this one, because I'm 98% sure I know what the drama is, I don't agree with her drawing it out, because she just needs to be honest and say, hey, this is why I don't think I should marry you. Boom, out there. And there's plenty other things that could be the conflict. Like our hero, he has PTSD, and I would have liked for him to be hesitant to marry her because he's worried about night terrors or about when he has an episode of hurting her. Like, to me, that's where the conflict in this book should be, because she's so beautifully built his PTSD as this, like, real and living thing that he is fighting at random times. And it's so, like, beautifully portrayed that I'm like, why isn't just that the conflict? Like, and it's called The Soldier. Like, that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about this woman who, if he loves her and wants to marry her, he can overcome those things for her. So it's just frustrating. Anyway, so, and then I started An Unkindness of Magicians last night. I only read the first 2 chapters, which I'm really behind on our buddy read, but I already am into it. It totally feels like a Slytherin story. There are these magic houses, and it's time for them to have, like, a battle royale, basically, to see who will be in charge of the magic next. And we meet Sydney, who is going to be working for a new house, and we're starting to meet all the different representatives of the houses, and it's going to be good. And I just need to dive into that. But like I said to myself the other day, I need to finish one of these other books because The Soldier's just been taking me too long. And so tonight's the night. I just have 50 pages left. I'm going to finish it when I get home. And now my car is almost warm enough to drive, so I'll check back in with you soon. Hey guys, I need to film a really quick wrap up. I'm about to go watch the Vikings game with my friends and get some laundry done. But it's Sunday, and I ended up having a really great reading week this week. So I did finish The Soldier, which I know I was just, like, kind of ranting about in the clip before, but I did end up really enjoying this. I didn't like it as much as I liked The Heir, which was just a whole nother level for me, but this was still really amazing. My biggest critique is the heroine and her secret, which was very obvious from the beginning to me, and especially when there was a man who was so communicative and so good at, like, you know, hey, let's talk through our problems and get through this and da-da-da, and she just was very frustrating to me. But it was still, on the whole, they're such a beautiful family, Devlin has such a caring brother-in-law, such a caring family. His brother-in-law comes to stay with them for a while and is like helping Devlin through some of his PTSD. There's some beautiful stuff in here about adoption and about why some people give up their kids that I wasn't expecting, and I really loved it. Granted, I don't have any of those aspects in my life at all. So I can't speak to the validity. So if you do and you happen to read this, let me know what you think. But I thought it was pretty amazing. So I really like this. I ended up giving it 4 stars though, because the heroine drove me crazy. And I really wish that Devlin had a different woman that he was pursuing. One other thing though that I have discovered about Grace, I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous clip, is that these books aren't Tessa Dare. They are not Julia Quinn. It's not a rom-com the way that I like to go to my historical romances for. Both The Heir and The Soldier deal with some pretty serious issues, and they don't do it with comedy the way some of the other ones do, which I appreciated. Tessa Dare gets into some pretty serious things in her books, but it's usually pretty covered in humor, and that has a place because sometimes we deal with our darkest things with laughter, and I completely understand that. But in this case, it was some serious discussions about some things. But I did love the PTSD explanation in here, because it's not always a dark storm cloud all the time. Sometimes it comes at really inconvenient moments, or you'll be fine for a long time and then all of a sudden you'll be in a depression again. And so I really like that. So I'm still enjoying the series, and I can't wait to read the next one next year. Next, I'll just speak quickly. I made it to page 210 of Foundry Side. Totally behind in this buddy read. Murphy's already finished it. But I don't know. It's not that it's uninteresting. It's just that I wasn't into this story right now. I wasn't feeling it. I'm really going to try to push to finish that one this week. So we'll go for that. And one of the reasons why I wasn't super interested in that is because I started and finished An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I finished this last night. I started it on Monday, finished it last night. Oof, I really liked this. I'm really glad I waited to film my favorite books of the year, because the other day I was pre-filming a bunch of my end of the year videos, and I had just started, like I said, I was in the middle of this, and I just had a feeling that I wanted to wait. And I'm glad I did, because An Unkindness of Magicians is probably in my top 5 books of this year. It is a brutal punch to you. So this, if you haven't heard about this story, it's really hard to dive into this in just a couple minutes here. I'll talk about it more in my December wrap up. But this is about a girl named Sydney. She is representing a new magic house who every 20 years, all these different magical houses, and this is set in current time in New York City, they have basically this big competition to see which house is going to rule the unseen world, or the magical world, for the next 20 years. Well, this turning has come early because there's been a kind of disturbance in magic, and Sydney, who's a girl no one has ever heard of before, she becomes a front runner in this competition, and she is ready to burn the houses to the ground, the corrupt houses who've been using magic, not necessarily for evil, but they have been irresponsible with the power that they have and the cost that it is to other people. And man, there is high cost to magic in this story. There is brutal fights, and it's all told with this kind of casualness that you'll see something brutal happen and it's just over, and then you're like, whoa, like we need to process what just happened, and the author just keeps pushing you through it and forward and forward. And now this was written as a standalone. This was one of Murphy's favorite books of last year, and it took me until the end of this year to read it, and I'm annoyed with myself for that, but it was so great. And so Kat is writing a sequel for this that's called, I can't remember it now. I think it's a Something of Shadows, which after you've read this, you'll understand what shadows are. And so I'm torn because I love that this is a standalone. We don't get too many wonderful like fantasies like this that are a standalone and that are only 350 pages. And I feel like everything I needed to know was told to me. Like, I don't feel like there was things left out or that I'm left wondering about things. So I'm interested to see how she does this sequel, like if it's set further in the future, or if it is dealing with some of the ramifications that we learned from this book, or if it's going to be about different characters. Like, I don't know. But I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's going to be on my favorites list. And I'm like looking at my favorite list over there because I'm going to film that video soon. And I'm just like, I feel like it just blows so many of them out of the water. So highly recommend An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. It is on Scribd. So if you have that, you can listen to this for free. And yeah, I put up new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you can watch some more of them right now. Bye!